Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. When EJ made up that story on the fly, um, to Jada about Rafe, having work for Black Patch and stuff, like he's going to be gone for a little bit, and, Rafe just kind of just went along with it. She felt that there was something off. But the thing was, EJ felt like he was in the clear. And I'm like, bro, this is a story that can easily be checked out, right? I guess EJ was just kind of stalling for time at this point, but it was definitely one of those stories that came back to bite him in the ass. Because while Jada is not there talking to Sean about Rafe and just something's not really adding up, she winds up calling Steve, and Steve tells her, "Yeah, Rafe isn't on any assignment." Jay's like, "Okay, cool." So she goes to EJ's place. Now this is where, like, I'm not even sitting there saying, like, this isn't even nitpicking, but she barges on in this man's house, okay? Pretty much just, there's a better word for it. I know I'm not going to come up with it now. I'm going to kick myself for it later on. But she pretty much just abuses her position, her badge, in the sense of just barging on in his place, asking him a bunch of questions, right? And at one point, she's like, "Hey, listen, I'm going to take you downtown. And I'm going to sit there and take you down to the station." I'm like, Jada, did you forget that he's a lawyer? He knows his rights. That's literally what he says. Like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere with you, but you can go now. Arnold is a moron. Here's the thing. Arnold is more fun so far than Rafe, which is why I went from the swap. But Arnold is a moron because I think before, yeah, it was definitely before Jada got there. EJ's like, why are you, because he came out the secret tunnels, and EJ's like, why are you still here for? I literally gave you a hotel to go to, and you're here. And I was like, well, I'm bored, and this, that, and the third. I'm like, you do realize that your freedom is also on the line, too, right? Like, yes, EJ can definitely go to jail for that. You can also go to jail for this, too. Like, what you did back then, you can go to jail as well. But, at this point, EJ's like, yo, listen, just I need you out of sight at this point. So I think he wound up going back to the secret tunnels. He goes somewhere. And as EJ is getting rid of Jada, Arnold just walks his dumb ass from up the tunnel. And I'm just like, is is he serious? Now, remember before then he was not there bragging about, oh, I can still sit there and be Rafe and stuff like that, which, to be honest, can't. Um, Because even Jada's not there knowing that there's just a lot of things is just off with him, like the dialogue that he uses, the clothes that he wears. It's just all off. Even if she doesn't know, even if she doesn't know about Rafe's twin, she knows that there's something off. Like, you're trying to fool a detective. When you really start to think about it, it is kind of, well, silly, to be honest. Um, so that happens, right? Now, going back to the Hernandez house, Javi, I couldn't have a cousin like that stay with me. I could not have a cousin like that stay with me. First of all, a dude's just walking around with no shirt on. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then so Javi's sent to making breakfast. Gabby's sent there thinking it's for him, and then Carrie just walks in. Carrie's like, oh, it's for me. And I'm just like, so let me get this straight. You are a guest in this man's house, and you are just inviting total strangers to stay at Ray's place without even Cynthia telling them. Now, Gabby was like, "Oh, you can use a little discretion," and Javi Cynthia teasing her like, "Okay, mom," but I'm like, in reality, I'm like, bro, you're just out of pocket. Like, I can imagine having somebody stay with me and then just inviting random people to my place. Like, are you serious? Okay, so here's my I generally don't tend to do theories. I really don't. But there's a point where when Gabby leaves, because she wants to go give him this money clip, and Carrie's like, "Hey, have you sat there and see the latest news in Lady Whistleblower or whatever?" And I was like, I really don't want to sit there and read it. Very mean spirited or whatever. Like it's. Then he makes a comment, right? And this is where I start to like a little bit of body and soul stuff because Javi's like, this person's just being mean and just vicious and just like attacking the show. And, Carrie's like, well, maybe this person is a fan of the show and they don't like to see where it's going. Javi's like, well, if you don't like the show, you can simply not watch. And Carrie's like, or I can sit there, or this person's sitting there giving judgment and criticism because he wants the show to be better. This has always been a debate in the fandom community. And it doesn't matter what fandom it is, it doesn't matter if it's soaps, it doesn't matter if it's comic books, it doesn't matter if it's Star Wars, TV shows, whatever. There's always people that will say the most nastiest, vile things, or just people that, because here's the thing, and this is a little kind of oxymoron or a little hypocritical. I review soaps, obviously. And, I never want my reviews to be to a point where it's just negative all the time. Oh, this episode sucks. That episode sucks. This episode sucks. Because there's no creativity behind that. There was a point where, I'm going to be honest, like, GH was just really bad. This is when I was like, Days of Our Lives is really killing it. Y'all need to come over here. This is where the party's at. And every day I was sitting there saying, this episode just sucks. It's bad. It's this, it's that, and it's third. Um, some people was like, it almost seems like you don't like. It almost seems like you don't like the show. That's literally what somebody said. It almost seems like you don't like the show, and I'm like, I do like the show, but I don't like it where it's at right now. So in a sense, this is where it's so perplexing to me because this whole whistle lady blower, those conversations back and forth. Stephanie Smith, they're using Chad's friendship or whatever, their connection, to out this guy, out this woman or whatever. And in reality, Lady Whistleblower is not doing anything more than what you would sit there and see on any YouTube channel. You know how many spoiler channels they have for all four soap operas? Right? How many reviewers, how many soap opera commentary people do you actually have on YouTube? When I counted, it was 20. And that's just a rough estimate. 20 people were talking about this stuff. Can you imagine if somebody from General Hospital or Days of Our Lives is like, this guy has been really just getting on our ass about the show, and I don't like it, and I feel like it's hurting the show, and you're using YouTube's platform to really sit there and do damage to the show. I want this person found. I want their information out there. I want a name so we can sit there and talk to this person. Think about that. Think about that for a hot minute. Now you can sit there and say, "Well, it's kind of hyperbole. It's not really something that they would normally do or anything like that." Let's just sit there and say, for the sake of argument, there was an episode that was just basuda, right? And I really just ripped into it. And Days of Our Lives saw that, and it was like, "Hey, listen, we need to sit there and have a talk with you." Because think about it, what is Lady Whistleblower really doing? She's not doing anything illegal. I mean, spoilers is not illegal. Using Stephanie said using the platform to hurt the show is not a good look for the paper. But that's only a matter of perspective, though. Everything that this person has said hasn't been like mean spirited in a way where it's like, I want this show canceled. I think this show is stupid, and the characters are ugly, and the cast. It wasn't like that. These were snarky, sarcasm comments. Hell, a little more snarky, more sarcastic than even me. So again, this is the part where it's just so stupid. And I guess I can kind of appreciate it from this point, and maybe even on some level, kind of defend Lady Whistleblower because that person hasn't said anything more than what I would sit there and say 5 days a week. I know this has been mostly on this, but it's just anyway. He starts kissing on him because he also doesn't like the idea. And this is where it brings to my theory. What if this guy is just some disgruntled soap opera fan that really doesn't like the way that the show's going? So they're saying a whole bunch of negative comments or whatever to either get the show fired or really light a fire under Leo's ass. Because I think that's what it is. I think it's one of those fanatic, because there are out there fanatic fans that will literally sit there and act like that. And I know because I've seen them. I've seen them. I've seen people where it goes beyond just, I've had to kick people out of my live stream because they have went too far. And these are just Star Wars fans. Don't even me start. I mean, these are just soap opera fans. Don't even me start on Star Wars fans, and not all of them, but. So I think that's what Carrie is. I think he is one of those people that is just a super fanatic, and is just coming at the show hard because, like he said, he wants the show to be better, but he's just going about it. Honestly, to tell you the truth, he's not really going about it in a wrong way. Like he's not. I can't even sit there and say he is. I mean, what are they going to do? Like, oh, you need to sit there and stop saying bad things about my show. I don't know if hacking is a crime. I don't, but like, other than that, like, what are y'all going to do? Like, what is Stephanie going to do? Whine and start giving some sort of moral speech or something? I feel like I talked more about this than anything else. Also, Leo was at a being comedic, and Abe gave him some sort of news as far as, hey, listen, um, we're closer to finding that person that's that they're trying to ruin the show. And Leo wants Hattie back, and Abe is not really for it, but he's like, okay, fine, I'll talk to Kate. And Kate wasn't really for it, but Abe was like, we'll sit there and talk about it later on. Oddly enough, when I was sitting there doing this review, I wasn't even too sure if I was going to put it out. Wasn't really too sure. Numbers yesterday didn't really look too promising. It is getting kind of late, and I do want to sit there and watch Born to Beautiful and do that review. But I have more stuff to talk about. Like, I was going to do a Young and the Restless review, but I have more stuff to talk about in this episode than I did in Young and the Restless. We're going to talk about Young and the Restless for whatever it was, but other than that, Gabby and JJ gave a very flirty, uncomfortable, cringeworthy scene. So that's just awesome. Yay on that front. I don't know. Um, and then towards the end, Javi sees Leo. Yeah, I think that's what Carrie is really just coming across as. Was one of those fanatic fans, and fanatic fans can actually be like the worst because like sometimes they just come across like they don't like anything, and then other times I can sit there and look at it as like it's not we don't like anything, we just don't like crap, and we're not going to sit there and settle for crap. That's just the bottom line, and I can't blame anyone for being like. I think sometimes with me when I try to do these reviews, I try to look at something, or at the very least, even if the episode is bad, I can talk about certain parts or whatever and not make it seem as negative, if that makes any sense. I think it's just the times where I feel like I may have to go a little bit too negative. It's like I don't need to do a review on this episode because there was clearly nothing I liked about this episode and everything I couldn't stand about it. Anyway, that's what all I got. If I missed anything, write in the comment section below. I'll come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Boy the Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. I will see you in the next video and hopefully live stream.